So let's look at these two trig equations we've been asked to solve this time. And just notice the subtle difference. We've got sine x is equal to negative 0.7. And on this second trig equation, cos x is equal to negative 0.1. So we've now got some negative equations to solve. Basically, I've kept the range between 0 and 360 degrees. Technique's going to be exactly the same. There's going to be a few catches possibly when we solve these equations. So let's look at the first one. I'm going to draw a line where y is equal to negative 0.7. So I'll go to my axes. Here's negative 0.7 here. I draw a line across in the range 0 to 360 degrees. And if you notice, we get two cuts. Okay, notice where the two cuts are taking place. We've got a cut here. So that coincides to that angle there. And we've got a cut here, which coincides to that angle there. I already know my two answers for this equation. I want an answer between 180 and 270, and I want an answer between 270 and 360. So how do I start the process? Exactly like I've started it in the past. I go to my scientific calculator, I press inverse sine of negative 0.7. So my first task is x equals sine inverse negative 0.7. Now what happens this time is a negative angle comes out of your calculator. The angle that comes out is minus 44.4 degrees. Now there is nothing wrong with that answer. If I did the sine of negative 44.4 degrees, I would get an answer of negative 0.7. Why? Let's just look at our diagram. Why? If I extend this line, I've got a cut here. And what my calculator is actually giving me is it's giving me that cut. It's giving me that angle there to be negative 44.4. The only thing is I don't want negative 44.4 because it's not in my range. It is a solution to the equation, but it's not in my range. But just look what my diagram does, is it tells me that that shaded area there, that region, is equivalent to 44.4 degrees. Now I'm going to transfer that because of the symmetry of the graph. If this one inside here is 44.4 degrees, that also means that from that 180, this is also 44.4 degrees. But not only is that 44.4 degrees, if I draw a line here, like this bit inside here is also 44.4 degrees. And the two cuts I wanted were clearly this cut here and this cut here. So I want this value and I want this value. And you can see from my diagram, to get those two answers, I'm going to do 180 plus 44.4, and I'm going to do 360 take away 44.4, and I've got my two answers which match up to the range 0 to 360 degrees. So my two answers are x equals 180 plus the 44.4, which gives me a grand total of 224.4 degrees. And my other answer is 360 take away the 44.4, which gives me a grand total of 315.6 degrees. Now, how can I check that I'm accurate or correct? Place those two values inside the sine, and out should come an answer of negative 0.7.